Hello everybody and welcome. It's been a while since one of these, but I just got a COMC shipment back, and I thought I'd do a little bit of a mail day video here showing my COMC order. And so we're going to kind of go through these. I'm not going to necessarily call out every single player, but COMC is one of our channel sponsors, one of the podcast sponsors. And so I kind of wanted to show what type of cards I've been picking up at COMC to add to the PC. Now, all the stuff I'm going to show today is pretty much all PC items. One of the things I'm working on is the 1960 Topps baseball set. Here you see a Brooks Robinson. That's a little bit more of a notable card. And so I love to use COMC to build my vintage sets. It's pretty reasonable. The fact that you can consolidate your orders from different sellers all into one shipment makes it pretty reasonable. I love using COMC for my vintage set building efforts. I use Sport Lots as well. It's another great site to use for vintage set building. I've been a big fan of those, but COMC is nice too. And you're going to see a ton of 1960 Topps cards that are going towards my set build. You saw Whitey Ford there, Al Kaline, another big card, Lynch, Gross. No huge cards. I don't have any multi, $100 cards or anything like that. Duke Snider's another notable name. Then we've got some team cards. I'm going to try to kind of go through these quickly because we've got a lot to go through. I've been saving these up for several months, and I decided to finally go ahead and take advantage of the shipping deal that they had at Black Friday. And so I went ahead and just kind of ordered a bunch of these and finally had them shipped. That's one of the nice things is you don't always have to buy them and ship them right away. You can save them up and kind of consolidate your shipments. And that's what I did here and took advantage of that order. I went ahead and got some high numbers. I'm down to 11 cards that I need for this set. I'm probably going to have to pick those up via direct channels, either from some people that I know that deal in vintage or eBay. But the ones that I still need of the 11 cards are some of the bigger names like Mantle, and I think I need one of the Mays cards. I need the Carl Yastrzemski rookie from this set. And so there's still quite a few that I'm going to need to get maybe on a secondary market. But the thing that I like about getting them on COMC is that you can kind of see the actual card, and you can see which card you're getting. Here's another one of the higher numbers. Those aren't necessarily very cheap. But yeah, a lot of 1960 Topps going towards my set build. Cepeda, Coleman, we got Don Zimmer. Big fan of Don Zimmer when he was manager of the Cubs back in the 80s. Early 90s, I forget exactly when he came and when he left, but it was right there in my collecting heyday of when I was a fan in junior high and high school. So Don Zimmer always has a special place in my heart. I know that. So those are some of the ones. The Whitey Herzog, he's another big, has a lot of popularity here in Central Illinois. This is a nice card of Mays, Master and Mentor. This is another nice one here, Harmon Killebrew. Got that on COMC. Alston, we've got that one, we've got Hemis, we've got Locke. We're going to kind of go through. This might take a little while because, like I said, there was quite a few cards in this order. And so I just kind of wanted to show all of them. I wanted to show all of them just to see what kind of stuff that I'm getting. Here's another notable name, Frank Robinson. Got that in this order. Jim Bunning, got that one in this order. George Witt, Stu Miller. We've got a couple more, Pete Burnside, and last but not least, we've got the Roger Maris Sport Magazine card. Next up, a couple other PC items. Some guys that I've talked about, always holds a special place in my heart, but Thad Bosley. We've got his SSPC card. And Thad Bosley's 88 Topps, but this is the Rediscover Topps version. I had the foil stamp, I believe from 2016, 2017, something like that. His 86 Topps card was the first card that I ever got in one of my first ever packs, and so he always holds a special place to my heart. I'm always trying to get ones that I don't have. I've also been working on some vintage basketball sets, and these are a few that I needed here. The Gray, Shelton, Charles, and Gianelli, and these are from the 77-78 set. So a few more towards my set needs there. Next up, I've got a stack here that I got of Ayo Dosunmu. Ayo is what we call him as U of I fans. It's been a while since U of I has had somebody who was notable and has kind of made a splash in the NBA. And Ayo is a Fighting Illini just like myself. And so I wanted to pick up some of his rookie cards from last year. And so I have done that. And we've got everything from the Prism rookies up to the kind of unlicensed wild card draft picks type sets. Big fan of this one is the Donruss, kind of the throwback to the 91 design. And so went ahead and picked up a few Ayo cards that I was able to get at a pretty reasonable cost. Next up, I want to show one of the other vintage set builds and show some of the cards that I've been getting here. And it's not only the 1960, but I've also been chasing the 1961 set. Again, I picked up a couple big bulk lots of these that got me some great starter sets, even had some of the high numbers I needed, but there were still some notable names like Warren Spahn that I needed. And so I've been working my way through these. And as I get store credit on COMC, I will go ahead and start to pick up some of the ones I need to be able to knock some things off. And when you can get some of those leaders cards with like Hank Aaron on them, you get Eddie Matthews, you can another Brooks Robinson card here, some checklists. The fact that you can knock some of these cards off using your store credit is just something that I'm a huge fan of. It almost makes me feel like I'm getting these cards for free. I'm using the profits from the sales of other cards to pick up cards I need for my own PC, McCovey here, and start to fill in some of those set needs that I need to put together these vintage sets. I just love putting together vintage sets. It's one of my focuses right now. Another Roger Maris and another home run leaders, and this one even has the mantle there. So those were the 61 tops that I got from this list. Next up is another, I'm going to go through these quick too. Tyrone Nesby is another guy who has Illinois connections. I actually met him when he was a senior in high school. I was a junior in high school. That's a jersey card there. I was shooting in the three-point shootout that we have at the state tournament. I was a high school basketball player, and he was in the slam dunk contest that year. I got a chance to meet him. He went on to play in college. UNLV, went on then into the NBA, and I decided, you know what, he doesn't have a long career, he doesn't have a ton of different cards, and so I'm going to try to track down all of his different cards, see what I can do. And between Sport Lots, COMC, and a few on eBay, I was able to knock out a ton. But as you're going to see here, a big chunk of those all came from COMC, and so I just thought I'd kind of show some of the ones I was able to get. You know, a lot of serial numbered cards. You know, some of these that you're going to see here in this list are numbered down to 100. And so it's nice when you can knock off some of those low serial numbered ones. I think I even have maybe a Fleer Ultra Platinum medallion that is numbered to 50. And that's probably the lowest serial number that I got out of this current purchase. There's one of the Ultimate Victory cards numbered to 100. Gold label. And I just went ahead and picked up as many as I could on COMC using my store credit. A lot of the parallels, a lot of the variations that you're going to see here over the course of those few seasons that he had cards. I got a couple of the autographs. I got the jersey card that you saw earlier. This is another one numbered to 100 there. And just had a lot of fun reminiscing about the connection that I have with Tyrone Nesby, competing in that state tournament, kind of the skills competitions there. Here's one of the autographs. And so we've got a little bit of a history all the way back to high school. And so thought I would go ahead and pick up some Tyrone Nesby cards for the collection. If you've got any out there, any of the one-of-ones, any of the really low serial numbers, I'm looking to buy. I want to kind of complete the full run. Here's the gold medallion, and then here is the platinum medallion of that same card, numbered to 50. This one's 19 of 50. And then this game day parallel here. Also working on some vintage Garbage Pail Kids. There was 2 here that I needed to work on one of the Garbage Pail series sets, and so I picked those up in this current shipment. Also, back to the U of I connection, Kurt Kittner was our star quarterback at the time. He went on to a international career as well as a very short-lived career in the NFL, but got this Kurt Kittner jersey card, a couple different versions of this press pass card. I love the fact that it actually shows the Illinois logo on it, and then this autographed Kurt Kittner card as well. So those are a few more U of I connection cards that I got. Love the vintage. I love the oddballs. If you've been paying attention to me at all, you know I love food issues. And so we've got some Hostess cards that I needed to fill in some set needs for the late 70s Hostess sets. Oh, one more here, Wayne Gross. And then the other little vintage set that I'm working on is football. One of the other things I've talked about is some of the first vintage cards I got out of my grandparents' attic were some 1968 and 1969 Topps football cards, and I decided that I was going to go ahead and use those ones I got as a kid as a starter set, and that I would want to fill in and try to fill out this 1969 set as well. And so that's what I've been doing here. And so I went ahead and picked up several of the 1969 Topps football card sets, cards that I needed. Bob Greasy, there's another notable name. Asbury, Morrill, Dunway. But it just brings back a lot of memories hunting through my grandparents' attic, trying to find those cards that they said they were up there, digging through boxes, and eventually found the box that had those. There's no big names of baseball or anything like that. That's what I was hoping for at the time, but I did get some big names from a football perspective, some Gale Sayers rookies and some things like that. Johnny Unitas here with this pickup. And I've pretty much knocked out that complete set now after getting this shipment here. The last couple cards I want to show here, we're down to just a handful left from this shipment. One of those was the Macho Man Circle K card, unscratched here with the tab still at the bottom. That kind of fits in my 80s wrestling nostalgia. And I got a couple top stickers from Empire Strikes Back. We got Luke and one of the Ewoks, as well as a couple of the Wonder Bread cards that are in real good shape. This fall, I should say, at the Chicago Non-Sports Show, I was able to pick up the rest that I needed to complete the sets, but a couple of them were in pretty rough condition. And so I found these on COMC that are in great condition, that are going to be some upgrades to my Wonder Bread vintage Star Wars set. And the last few are also kind of back from the heyday of high school. One of my favorite players when I was in high school, because he was a short white guard and I was a short white guard, but Bobby Hurley was one of my favorite players. So I picked up a few Hurley cards that I didn't have. We've got his Skybox autograph, his first day issue Stadium Club. We've got Electric Gold Upper Deck card. We've got, this is a high school All-American Freedom Press. I'm not sure if this is, was officially licensed or not, but it was a card I didn't have, so I went ahead and got it. We've got, this one is one of my favorites here. We've got the Beam Team Bobby Hurley Members Only card. Big fan of that one. And last but not least, we've got the 93 Finest Refractor. And so those are the cards that I got in my COMC mail day. I hope you enjoyed seeing it. If any of them stood out to you, let me know in the comments. Feel free to subscribe. Check out the podcast. Check out waxpackhero.com, and I'll catch you next time.